The Minister for Arts has been rightly criticized for giving away $3 million of taxpayers' money with no application process, no criteria, and so far refusing to tell the taxpayers where it went. Recently, we learned that she did decide to give $1 million of that money away to cities that never asked for it. No application process was required. The check just showed up in the mail. The minister went through incorporation dates and decided, oh, I like 120th as a year, or oh, I like 75 as a year, but not 115. So we'll decide how to give out money that way. Can the minister please explain why it's better for her to go through a list like that, choosing who she thinks deserves arts and culture funds, than going through the British Columbia Arts Council, who are dedicated to doing that job?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think it's important to correct the facts for all members here in the House with respect to arts funding here in British Columbia. Despite challenging fiscal times, we have still put funding amounts to the Arts Council at the second highest level ever in British Columbia, far greater than what the NDP ever did. We have maintained funding to arts and culture for this current year and for next year. We have provided additional dollars as well for arts and culture groups through the gaming grant program. An additional $15 million has been added to the gaming grant fund, which provides dollars to a number of arts and culture groups. But again, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell the member that he is incorrect when he suggests that the cities who have requested funding for their celebrations for arts and cultural groups did not come directly to me. In fact, cities had been asking for assistance for arts and cultural celebrations since last fall.
The member has supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Member.
It is Arts and Culture Week, so I guess I should have expected a performance like that from the minister. But I would suggest she get a new scriptwriter, since it wasn't correct what she asserted. In fact, the government cut arts and culture funding, the deepest cuts in BC history. The additional money that the minister says went into gaming was only a small portion of what her government cut. In estimates, the minister said, when asked about the Arts Legacy Fund, what it was for, she said the objective, quote, was to ensure that we had an ability to provide for some of the demands of the arts and culture sector. What we've been able to do is take a look at the requests, pressures that comes from arts and culture groups. So that was her quote in estimates about what the money was for. So can the minister please explain how municipalities across BC were surprised to find checks that they did not ask for? I talked to the minister's staff, and she confirmed for me that the ministry actually did not receive applications or request applications. So the minister might want to talk to her staff about that. So can they please explain how it's better to give money to people who didn't ask for it than to provide funds for arts and culture groups who are asking for it each and every day?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I want to share with the member that despite challenging fiscal times, we have maintained funding for our arts and culture sector this year and next year and going forward. I want to also again correct the member that in fact a number of cities did approach our ministry requesting assistance in their celebrations. Victoria, for example, is celebrating their 150th birthday this year, the capital city of the province of British Columbia. And they did request assistance, and they did so because they were going to bring in local arts and culture groups to be a part of this. And if the member suggests that the local cities should not have this, then maybe they should have it turned back. I got a very nice letter from the Mayor of Burnaby, who thanked me for the dollars that they're going to use to celebrate arts and culture in Burnaby.
Members. Nelson Creston.
Mr. Speaker, we're talking about a pot of $3 million. Not all of it was spent on these municipal celebrations, and while they are worthwhile celebrations, this issue is about yet another Liberal hidden process involving taxpayer dollars. Arts organizations are struggling across BC as a result of Liberal cuts, the deepest cuts in BC history to the arts. In my area, the Nelson and District Arts Council laid off staff and closed its doors. They have been hurt by Liberal cuts, and now, to make matters worse, the minister won't disclose how she's spending the full amount of this pot of money. So, Mr. Speaker, this isn't the minister's personal slush fund, so why is she being so secretive about taxpayer dollars?
Yeah. Minister. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, let's have a look at 2000-2001 and the BC Arts Council, which at the last year, the NDP administration received about $14.7 million. Today, they are receiving close to $17 million. I hardly think that that is a cut, Honourable Speaker. As I've indicated to members of this House, the BC Arts Council, who I have had a number of meetings with, have received the second largest funding ever in the history of this province. In addition to that, the Community Gaming Grant Program provides additional dollars for our nonprofit arts and culture groups, and they are still receiving those dollars. In fact, with the injection of additional $50 million to that amount, more arts and culture groups are receiving funding. So I think it's inappropriate for members opposite to mislead, to suggest that there is a reduction this year and the year going forward.